In the untamed heart of Wyoming lies the Wind River Range, a cathedral of nature's grandeur, where the Earth's raw power pierces the heavens. 40 towering peaks soar beyond the 13,000-foot mark here, their jagged silhouettes standing as sentinels of time. 7 of Rocky Mountain's mightiest glaciers cling to these heights, their ancient ice whispering tales of the millennia. Scattered across this vast wilderness, 1,300 named lakes, their sapphire and emerald waters mirroring the sky's endless drama. The Continental Divide, a spine of destiny. It carves its way through the range's entire length. It's a testament to nature's unyielding command. We, 2 intrepid souls, dare to traverse 3/4 of this majestic range. 88 miles of unforgiving terrain on foot. Our path winds over towering 12,000-foot passes, through boundless meadows ablaze with wildflowers, and lakes that shimmer like jewels under the sky. This is no mere journey. It's an epic odyssey through a realm where the mountains reign supreme, testing our resolve, humbling our spirits, and cleansing our souls. Join us as we confront the highs and lows of the wild frontier, where every step is a battle against the elements, and every vista is a reward that stirs the heart. In the Wind River Range, we are but fleeting pilgrims, bound by the call of adventure and the promise of transformation.
Carl, what are you doing? Carl, what are you doing, you little sweeters? I'm gonna go up to Big Sandy. I'll talk to you later, okay? All right, pause. We have to eat a sandwich from Buc-ee's first. Hey, what's happening, folks? So let's talk a little bit, huh? I'm in my adventure already, like usual, whenever I do these. But yeah, it's been 3 days getting here. I'm in the Wind River Range, Wind River Mountain Range, and I'm doing about 88 miles. A little bit of the CDT, a little bit of the high route. But yeah, my adventure started about 3 days ago. I left St. Louis, drove into Fort Collins, and met some friends for dinner. I did some hiking during the day to get acclimated to the elevation. Went to my first Buc-ee's, And yeah, it was pretty great. Dinner with Haley and Matt was amazing. I don't get to see them too often, so it was good catching up with them. Then the next day, I went to Lander, which was yesterday. Um, and that's just on the east side of this Wind River range. And it was just a close town that I could go eat lunch at. And then I went to my final destination, which was Big Sandy Lodge. Um, it's a whole bunch of rustic cabins that have like wood burning stoves, no electricity. So it was real primitive, but beautiful cabins. And so I enjoyed a night there. They fed us dinner. That was amazing. And then fast forward to this morning, we were supposed to meet a shuttle service at 6 a.m. And, it started getting late, like 6:10, 6:30. And I ended up texting my wife, Emily, via the Garmin Messenger and going, hey, I need you to call this number and ask them where the shuttle service is. Long story short, they ended up showing up like 3 hours late. They were like at 9 o'clock, which put a damper on the hike today because we got to the trailhead so late. It was basically the afternoon. It was lunchtime. I think it was like 12:15 when I started hiking. And I just finished about 40 minutes ago. It's 7:43 right now, so a little after 7 I finished. Yeah, so I had to we had to hustle to get up here before dark. It was pretty crazy. Not fun, but it was beautiful. And by the time I got here to campsite, I was so wore out. I just didn't even feel good. And I was really, my levels were very low. I did not want to be here when I got into camp, but I knew what I needed to do. I needed to hydrate. I'm going to get some food in me here in a second. I went and got water, just kind of got things situated. So I'm doing good now, better. But this trip is going to be amazing. I have it set up for, it's going to be 7 days, 6 nights. And we're looking at about 88 miles through the CDT route and the high route. But I have it all mapped out on my phone, so we should be good. And there's lots of deviations we can do if something were to happen where someone gets hurt or altitude sickness or whatever. We can get into lower elevation on some trails that are outside of it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I have a surprise guest that's going to meet me here in 2 days. He is flying in and meeting me on the trail a little bit further down, so that's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. This is the hardest trip I think I've ever put together, and I'm already feeling it day one. Day one, brutal. Yeah, I'm going to get some food in me, and yeah, I think I might call it a night after that. For dinner, I have a second Bucky sandwich. It's a big buck and brisket sandwich, XXL chopped beef. Pretty excited about it. It's bedtime. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later. All right, wakey wakey everybody. I had a pretty good sleep. I probably went to bed around 9:30 or something like that. I was just so beat. Passed out pretty well, but then I woke up around 2 o'clock and had to go use the restroom, and didn't go back to sleep until like 4:30. But I don't get much sleep out here, so it's pretty normal. We're gonna get some breakfast in us and try to get on the road here within the hour. I think it's about 6 o'clock right now, so we'll try to get on the trail around 7. And today we are going up Knapsack Coal, which is a pretty tall pass on this route that we're going to have to conquer. We also have Cube Rock Pass we have to hit first, so we're going to come off of, we're on Vista Pass right now. We're going to go down, we're going to go up Cube Rock Pass, go over Peak Lake, and then we'll go up Knapsack Coal and down into the Titcomb Basin. And depending on how beat I am from yesterday, we'll either stop in the Titcomb Basin or we'll go a little bit further to Island Lake, and that'll set us up good for intercepting our guest that we're going to have on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow they'll be here. Excellent. Let's get going. All right, we're gonna get some breakfast in us. So what I've done is I have divvied everything up into bags, Ziploc bags, gallon bags. So all I got to do is grab my stuff and go to town. And I'm doing some things a little bit different this time. I'm trying out some cold soaking, just because I've never done that before. But I'll show you a few of the things that I have planned for today. So every day is going to be oatmeal or no meal, and we're going to cold soak this. But we have some Kodiak peak oatmeal, which is about 300 calories. I think it's might be the banana or the blueberry. I can't remember. Some protein powder, some whole milk powder, chia seed, hemp seed, another seed that I can't remember, and that's about it. So that's going to be breakfast. And then for lunch, I'm doing a ramen bomb, which are my homemade mashed potatoes, some ramen noodles, and I have bacon bits to go inside there. Oh no, actually these bacon bits are not for in there. I have a pack of tuna to go in there. But for dinner, I have some mac and cheese and bacon bits that I'm gonna throw together. And then every day I have one of these Death Wish coffee dark roasts, and I'm not heating these up. I'll be cold soaking, well not cold soaking, but putting them in my secondary smart water bottle, the smaller one, and just doing a cold brew. I know, it's I don't know, I don't think it's that hardcore. I'm just trying to set myself up to make things easier, is what I'm trying to do, so I can get on the road quicker and get miles in. So let's get at it. That tent you saw in the picture was the Z-Pex Altaplex. I just got this tent. I have the Tiger Wall, Tiger Wall 1 person, which is about 2.5 pounds, I think. And this one, I think, is right around 15 ounces or so. I might be wrong about it, but it's pretty close. So yeah, just a little bit of deduction in weight, but everything helps. Also using Tyvek ground sheet now, which I need to run through the washer because it's noisy. Wow, that's good. Let's try out the cold brew coffee. This is the first time I've done this. It's delicious. Sometimes it's nice to have a warm drink when you wake up in the morning, especially in the mountains where it's cold and we're at high elevation. But this is good. All right, I got my cold brew for the road. We're headed to Knapsack Coal, and then we're going to go over down into the Titcomb Basin. So let's get going on the trail. Pretty much up Cube Rock Pass. Just got a little bit longer to go, a little false summit here, but not too bad. Let's keep going. buckle up. Find your inner lion. We're approaching Knapsack Cove, and it's beautiful. Alright, I made it to the top of Knapsack Cove, and I'm heading down now. And these two weird ladies started following me. I don't know why, but here they are. There's these two weird ladies that keep following me. Let's get down to Titcomb Basin. We're in the Wind River Range, and it's dinner time. I have bacon, macaroni, and cheese, an entire box of it, because I didn't have a snack today. I just had breakfast, lunch, and now dinner. So, yeah, I've just been chilling, trying to lay in the tent, but you really can't. The sun was so hot today, and as you can see, I don't know if you can really see my face, but it's burnt to hell. But that's just because I forgot to put anything on my face, but I've never really had to put anything on my face before. This usually protects me, so I'm not for sure what was happening or what's been happening. So I'm gonna make sure I get that on my face, and my knees are a little burnt. Yeah, should be good to go after that. But yeah, I'm just hanging out. Looks like there's a storm rolling through up there on the north side, and just had a good time this afternoon. Just had an early camp day, and just enjoyed it as much as I could. So yeah, cheers to dinner. All right, folks, it's starting to get a little late, but I've just been chilling for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours just on a rock, looking at these amazing views. As you can see, that's Knapsack Coal over this way. That's where we came from today. These are the mountains behind me. The sun is setting right now. Little tent action. What an amazing day. Highlights: Knapsack Coal, Cube Rock Pass, hiking with my trail friends that were on the shuttle. They've moved on to Indian Basin. They did 14 miles today, so I only did about 8 today. This is a short day for me, but we got some long ones coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna meet up with my buddy tomorrow. We've been texting back and forth via satellite, so I think everything's in place and we're ready to do this. But yeah, I think this is good night, and I will talk to you good folks in the morning. All right, good morning, everybody. It is day 3, and we got to get the show on the road. So let's get to making breakfast and packing up, all right? Another oatmeal or no meal morning. It's funny, I've never cold soaked before, so this container, it actually tastes like some of the stuff I ate yesterday, like the ramen bomb in the oatmeal, which kind of sucks, but the lakes and stuff in the water you get is so cold that it doesn't really clean it properly. All right, I got that Starbucks salted caramel cold brew. We're gonna be heading out here in a second. We're going about 10, 11 miles today. We're gonna get back on the CDT and we're gonna meet my friend Chris Bolliard, which is kind of my adventure buddy. Me and him go on an adventure usually once a year. It's a winter adventure. So this year we're doing 2, which is pretty awesome. He's also been with me to Rocky Mountain National Park. So this will be an awesome experience. Get a little companionship on the trail. And we'll get to have a great time and spend some time together. So let's get going. Let's hammer this out. All right, so I made it to the rendezvous point. Got the tent drying out over here. Ooh, it was a crazy hike. Did 10 miles in like 5 hours. I went over Lester Pass. It was insane. And then look who I found. Holy shit, it's Chris Bolliard.
We're here, we're doing it.
Let's go for it. Stay tuned. All right, well, we've been hanging out for a few hours, just chilling, kind of gonked around, you know, like 2 o'clock. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and you know, I booked it this morning and did my 10 miles in like 5 hours or something like that through like Lester Pass. So anyways, we were gonna try to do Angel Pass that was behind us, but instead we sat over there and chilled and contemplated whether we were gonna do it or not. And then a family actually came by with their dog and was like, oh yeah, we just came down from there. So yeah, we were like, we have to do it, I guess. So we're gonna continue on, even though there's some weather that looks like it's coming in. It doesn't look like it's massive. And I still think that we can, you know, accomplish the route that we want to accomplish. So we're just gonna keep pushing forward. And when we run into that problem of weather, we're gonna adjust and try to get off to a lower trail to bypass it if we think it's too bad. So time to set up camp. Let's do it. All right, Chris and I got the dinner going. Pulled pork, mac and cheese. I give it a 10 out of 10. Chris, what do you got?
Venison country casserole.
Whoa.
It's very tasty.
What's your rating out of 10?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Maybe like a 7 out of 10.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, let's get it wrapped up for the night. So highlights of today was obviously meeting up with Chris. Had a great hike in the morning. Yeah, we just had some good conversations, some hangs today. And tomorrow we're gonna conquer this pass that's right behind us, which is Angel Pass, and then we'll go up into European Peak and hopefully end right below Photo Pass and then dominate that in the morning. All right, this is a good night. Thanks for sticking around. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. It's day number 4. Let's get going. All right, it's day 4, so we're pulling out all the day 4 stops. You know, all the classics. I don't know if you remember some of them from when you were a kid, but like spaghetti and meat sauce. Or how about 2 packs of Spam and a ramen pack? Or Total Complete Cookie. That used to be my favorite. But nowadays it's Death Wish Coffee, 300 milligrams. Get in me so I can get up the mountain. All right, let's talk about what we have in store today. As you can see right behind me, about right there, that's Angel Pass. And me and Chris are gonna do that right this morning. That's the first thing we gotta do. Once we get over that, we're gonna go down into this valley and we're gonna make our way up European Peak. We'll summit that and then we'll come down on the other side. And then there's another valley that we'll go down into, and that'll be right below Photo Pass. And that's all we have planned for today, but that's about a 14 miler, 36 to 38,000 foot of elevation gain. And I think the drop is similar, the descent. So it's gonna be a pretty tough day. Yeah, I think we're ready for it though. We got some sleep, getting some coffee, got breakfast, stretching, trying to dry some things out a little bit more before we leave, but yeah, let's head up there. All right, we're started our day. We're making our way up to Angel Pass right now. Let's get hiking. All right, me and Chris have made it over Angel Pass and we made it down to the junction point to go up European Peak, but we're gonna bypass it. We got some weather coming in and we just don't want to go up that route and through there for the weather today and the weather tomorrow. So we have a bypass route we've put into our GPS. We're gonna go down to that and then we're gonna jump back into the high route around Raid Peak area. And so we still have a bunch of passes we can do, so it's no big deal. We're just gonna miss European Peak and Photo Pass, but we'll jump back on and we're gonna have a great time no matter what. So yeah, let's get back on the trail and get this knocked out. We got about another 12 miles. People, we are at the end of day 4 for me, end of day 2 for Chris, and we did some good progress today. We had to bail on the high route because of weather that came in on European Peak, and we had to get on an alternate route. I think it's Fremont is what we're on, and this could take us all the way back to the car. I think we're like 25 miles away from the car, but what our plan is we have to play it by ear because these next 3 days have weather that's coming in and we can't get stuck up on the peaks or in areas where there's not a trail to get out, just because we're time bound and we're food bound. If we could have an extra night or something like that, we might be able to wait the weather out and then do those summits. But we met some people on trail today and they said a lot of people don't finish the high route just because weather conditions that come through here. It's just not something that everybody finishes. So I feel better about that. Yeah, we made it. I don't even know how many miles. It feels like we walked until we were just dead today. So yeah, we have a beautiful campsite. I'll shoot some shots of that and show it to you, but we're gonna get some dinner going. We got to clean some stuff up. We got to get the tent up, all the normal camp stuff. You know how this goes. All right, let's do it. All right, here's a little tour of camp we got tonight. We're in a beautiful spot. We got Christopher setting up. Got a nice little tent spot. I'm gonna set up right over there where I got the tent laying. And we got this beautiful view of the lake. We're gonna see a beautiful sunset tonight too. I think there's gonna be some good clouds. You can see some weather moving in on that side too. And then we got a beautiful shot of the mountains way off in the distance. I don't know if you can see that on a GoPro. This trip I am using the Knapsack. This is a bear-proof sack. I'm not sure exactly what it's made of, probably Kevlar or something to that nature. But you can put all your food in it, tie it on the tree, and it's supposed to be bear safe. I'm a little skeptical about it, but I don't have to carry a bear can, so I'm happy about that as well. So there's that. Anyway, Knapsack. Let's get to eating dinner. All right, we're getting dinner prepared and we are doing spaghetti tonight. I freeze-dried this spaghetti. I bought a freeze dryer. I think I've told this on my channel before. And all my meals on this trip have been freeze-dried or stuff I could prepare very easily, like ramen and mashed potatoes or ramen and Spam, things to that nature, or oatmeal in the morning mixed with peanut butter, powder, protein powder, whole milk, chia seed, hemp seed, things of that nature. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna do spaghetti tonight. Should be good. All right, it's getting really dark, so this is good night. Good night on day 4 for me, day 2 for Chris. Can't wait to see what day 5 brings. Hopefully we can bypass some weather, but see you good folks in the morning. All right, wakey wakey eggs and bakey. It is day 5 for me, and I slept pretty well. It's the condensation is crazy in this tent. This is a Z-Pax Ultiplex, and it's a single wall tent, and they're known for having condensation on the inside. I thought I pitched it pretty well last night, and it's got some good ventilation going, but still, like, my sleeping bag is pretty drenched on the top. So I'll have to dry it out and have to figure out what to do with that and how that functions. But anyways, let's get some breakfast and get on the trail. All right, we got oatmeal again today. And my Starbucks salted caramel cold brew. This is what keeps me going out here on the trail. That and just pure discomfort. But I just checked the Garmin weather, and it looks like we're gonna start getting rain at 1, and it could go until about 7 p.m. So we're gonna pack appropriately, make sure we have the right gear ready whenever we're out, see how far we can get today. So I think this eliminates getting in back into the high route. We did an adjusted route yesterday just because European peak had weather come into it, and we didn't want to go up there and get an altitude and then get into a lightning storm or whatever, really bad weather. And it looks like that would be the same thing today. We would go down this alternate route to Raid Peak and cut up and go into Raid Pass and back down into the high route. But if it's going to rain from 1 till 7, there's
just no way to get up in there. It's just too dangerous with the weather. So we're going to continue on this route, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a weather window where we can walk in through the cirque of towers and camp somewhere down in there and maybe do Texas Pass and see that area, even though it's going to be really busy. So yeah, let's get breakfast down. We'll get going. All right, again, this is day 5. We're getting ready to hit the trail and see how far we can make it before it starts raining today. It's supposed to hit around 1 o'clock, and hopefully it's not lightning and we can hike through some of it and get the miles we need. Let's get going. Well, we run into a bit of a problem. I've been kind of putting this off just because thought it might go away, but Chris is suffering from some mild altitude sickness, which is just bonking him hard. And that's why we have not done a lot of the high route. Yesterday when European Peak came up, we did have weather come in, but you know, today we just didn't do it because you know, Chris wasn't feeling that great, but he wasn't feeling that great 2 days ago at European Peak either. So right now I left Chris back a little ways at a campsite, and he's just really tired, and I told him I'd hike up here a little ways because I saw where there's 2 ponds on the map, and I just want to see how far that is, because we're lining up right now where we're about 11 miles from the car, which is not that far, but when you're not feeling well, that can be massive. But you know, it would be probably a morning hike out of here. We should be get done by the afternoon. I mean, by 11:30, I would think. But I just want to get Chris as close up here as possible to see, you know, just so he doesn't have to go as far in the morning. So yeah, I think I'm at my first pond, and I don't know if you look behind me, but it looks like it's just gone. I've been having a lot of drought around here. So anyway, you can also see the cirque in the background, but this GoPro doesn't capture very much. I got some phone footage. So I think we're gonna go back. You know, it's only 3 o'clock right now, and just let Chris rest the rest of the day, get some aspirin, drink lots of liquids, and then yeah, we'll head out early in the morning and get him back down to Pinedale to rest.
unfortunate, but we're making a team effort here, and this is what it takes. You know, when you get people out here, you have to be as safe as possible, and this is the safest thing we can do right now, is to stay in the lowest elevation and get him out as quick as possible, just so it doesn't progress to get worse, where we have to hit the oh crap button on the Garmin's. All right, peace out everybody, I'll talk to you later. Well, we've made it into camp. Let me tell you about this camp. Holy smokes, we hit the jackpot. We've just been basically running ragged all day, right? Trying to get down to here. And we got to some lower elevation for Chris, for that altitude sickness. Hopefully that'll go away. If not, we're gonna be able to get out to the car tomorrow. We only got about an 8-mile hike now. So that's awesome. I think we've set up and I feel a lot more comfortable with things. But yeah, let's take a look at camp. It looks like it's an old horse camp. And they have some supplies even sitting down here. I'm only saying that just because some horseshoes up and ropes, and it looks like they tie stuff off. But yeah, let's take a look here. Chris is setting up over here on this side. I haven't set anything up yet. There's a over through these trees back over that way, there is a swimming hole that has a waterfall going into it, and we'll go over and take a look at that here in just a little bit. Chris got his stuff going. And then over here, there's just I don't know, but I guess it's a bunch of supplies wrapped inside that plastic. And they got plates laying out, a shovel. That'll be nice. Maybe I can bury my poop for once. All right, we're gonna get some dinner in us and get some rest. So I can't even remember if I've mentioned this before, but on this trip I was going light, so I didn't bring a DSLR or my micro four thirds and all the batteries that come along with it. The only thing I did, this looks crooked, there we go. The only thing I did was bring my GoPro batteries, my phone, so the whole thing's recorded with the GoPro and my phone. But I brought this film camera, Ilford, and I got a whole bunch of film. Probably about 7 rolls, I think, 3 of black and white and 4 of color. And I did 4 of the colors in ISO 400, and then 1 in 200, and all the rest of the black and white is in 400 as well. So we'll see how that turns out. I think it's a nice medium ISO to get, because you might, if it's real sunny, you might get the sky blown out, but if it's a little bit darker, you might be able to catch some of that stuff that's in the shadows as well. And like watching online on YouTube, people had success with it. So can't wait to show you guys these. This is going to be the longest part of me making the video, is waiting for this to come back. Okay, so this is night 5, and this is our last night here. Tomorrow we got about an 8-mile hike into Big Sandy. We're cutting the trip a little bit short, obviously, because Chris wasn't feeling very good today, and the altitude is just still wreaking havoc on him. But you know, that's just how it is out here sometimes. You can never tell, especially when you're a flatlander and you're from Missouri, and you come out to these places. You try to get acclimated. Sometimes you're fine, sometimes you're not. But anyway, man, today's highlight was probably seeing my 2 friends that I picked up hitchhiking to the CDT in Lander on Saturday, I think that was, and I dropped them off at the CDT. And this morning, I saw them on the trail halfway through, and it was so amazing, and got to talk to them for a little bit. Yeah, other highlights of this trip is probably Knapsack Hole. I just wanted to hammer that, and I had a blast getting up that and doing it. It was so much fun. But definitely going to come back. I'm going to finish that high route, and now that I know what the area looks like, because I've never been out here before, I think I have a good idea of how I can get into those spots, how I can get out, what the terrain looks like. So I think overall it was really good information gathering trip. Even though I didn't get to complete as much of the high route as I wanted to, it was still amazing. Getting out here and being able to spend that much time, you know, in the woods is a privilege. So anyhow, I'm gonna get to bed because it's been a very long day. We did a 14-mile today. Can't remember how many feet of elevation gain and decline, but it was a lot. But this is a good night, and I'll see you folks in the morning for the hike out.
All right, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. It is day number 6, and I woke up this morning and had some Cheez-Its already, and did some stretching and watched the sunrise, which it was kind of anticlimactic. Started getting really magenta and pink, and then just dissipated in what you see behind me. Still a beautiful sight though. But yeah, I slept pretty well last night. We're gonna hike out today. We got about 8 miles to the big sandy trailhead where my car is parked, where the shuttle picked us up and took us to Green River. We're just kind of chilling here at camp. Chris woke up with another headache, and he's just not feeling very well again. So we got some aspirin in him, and once that kicks in, then we'll pack up and we'll head back to the car. But unfortunately, this video right here is it. We'll have some video on the way out, but this is my least favorite video. But remember, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to like, but just watch it. And thanks for joining me on this adventure. I'll see you guys next time.